Skillibop. Nice.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Thank you for making these.
You're welcome.
So you're trying to take my job.
I'm a stand-in while you're being a movie star. Welcome to Part of Love. I'm and this is Colt, and this is the safe space we created to talk about all things love and answer the questions that nobody really wants to talk about, honestly.
Yeah. So if you are not already subscribed for whatever reason, maybe you just found us, maybe you've been here for a second, maybe you just drop in every once in a while, but we would love for you to consider subscribing so you never miss another part of love. And please comment below. We love when people comment. We love talking to you. We want to know your thoughts and also what you want to see on the channel in the future. Maya really wants to get into it. She's excited. She's playing with her toys. So let's start talking about today's topic. The thing that I am most excited to talk about today with regards to exes, because we've tackled like being thankful for your exes. We've talked about learning from your exes. We've talked about red flags, like learning what you don't want from your exes, what you do want out of your future. But today, I feel most kind of pulled to talk about, honestly, what is the one most important lesson that you learned from an ex? And I would say per relationship, because in my opinion, like each one of my big relationships, you know, those relationships taught me a lot of things, but there was one specific thing that I can look back at each of those relationships and go, this is what I absolutely would not deal with. Like, this is the thing that I did not want, that
Right.
I had to get out, or because the relationship ended. Because one of them was someone breaking up with me. Like, I wouldn't accept it.
You never thought that was happening, or you just...
No. I knew it was happening. I knew that we shouldn't be together, but I would not accept it. Because kind of like we talked about in the refinery in episode 8 and episode 9, there's a men's talk show. If you're new here, I'll link that up here. But it's a show where we try to refine ourselves into the men that we want to be, and we talk about these topics. And one of the things was that kind of, you know, acknowledgement of as men a lot of times, or not even as men, just me personally, I wanted so badly. I fantasized that this is the fantasy world that I've built for this relationship, and it has to happen, and it has to happen that way. And when it doesn't go that way, instead of rolling with it and trying to figure out why, I'm just like, no, it will be this.
Right,
and I try to steer it back that way. And so that relationship was a fucking nightmare. It was horrible. It was something I wouldn't wish on most people.
Right.
But what I learned from that was not to try and steer it, but like just accept it. If your relationship is not working, fuck it. It's cool.
It's
Bye.
fine.
Relationship
Yeah.
red flag. P.S. We have a video about that too. But I'm just saying, like, you know?
Don't force it.
Yeah. So for me, my first one that, I mean,
The
you know
lesson
who I'm
that
talking
you-
about, the
Yeah.
college one. That one,
But
that's what I
also
learned.
I think, you know, time frame is important too. Like, not important, but just to give us kind of a reference. Like, it was college time, you know, and I think that was like your first like major.
Yeah, that was my first like major
more
love.
adult love. Yeah.
If it's the, what is it? Is it Sex and the City, or it's not Almost Famous? You get 3 great loves in your life, whatever. No, it is Almost Famous. Philip Seymour Hoffman, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't he the one who says that you get 3 great loves in your life? I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong about that. But
I believe so. Yeah.
no matter what, Almost Famous is amazing, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is a god. So yeah, that 3 great loves, like that was my first, like that was the first person that I really was like really into, and that I committed myself to as much as I ever had at that point.
Right.
So that was what I learned from them, was that the fairy tale that I'm trying to create, you can't steer yourself into the fairy tale that you want. Like, you can't force someone else to come into your fairy tale. That doesn't work.
No.
That's what I learned from that, and I think has been proven by everyone, not just me. Like, it's.
But also, I think the thing is, you weren't just trying to force them into your fairy tale, and please stop me if I'm overstepping.
That's the point.
But you were also forcing them into like a character in your fairy tale. Like,
yes, but I think that's kind of part of, I guess
part
that's
of-
what
part
I
of
mean
that
is part
whole
of it. I literally
fantasy.
was like, no, you don't feel this way about me, but if you would just come over
Right,
here,
right.
you will see me this way because I am this person in this story and you are supposed to be this. I don't know why you're not doing your role. Like, why don't you understand what we're supposed to be doing? That
Right.
we're perfect for
Did
each
you
other.
not
She
read
was,
the
and
script?
even in the relationship, she was very clearly like, I'm dealing with this because it's paying well, but I fucking can't stand you.
Oh my god.
And not really paying, but you know what I mean, like the metaphor of just,
Right.
I wanted our roles to be defined as this because that's what true love was to me, and it just
Right, you're like,
isn't.
well,
Fuck me, I left these fucking lights on. I'm turning them off because I don't want to look at my fucking weird head all shaped weird.
you know what? It's been a long day of, you were shooting all day.
I was
It's
on set
very-
all day, and look at it.
Very
This
late
looks
at
so
night.
much better.
Oh,
Come
do we
on.
look better? Nice.
on.
I had dirty hair. I'm washed. Now I'm wearing a
you
hat. It's
have
fine. You know what? It's very clean.
best hair
now. It's fine. It's about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Are we going in sequential order? Because I now I feel pressure about
No, I'm so
that
sorry. I didn't.
relationship.
No.
I
Go
feel
in
pressure
whatever
about
order you
that
feel most
relationship.
comfortable with.
Um,
The further it is away from me, the more comfortable I feel talking about it. So,
you know what? Honestly, my first. I think this is actually a common theme. Maybe not, but I think for both of us it was.
I don't know
My
what to
first
say.
adult relationship, which really I was barely an adult. I was 17 years old. Was a train wreck, horrible train wreck. Not to bring this down at all, but it was abusive. It was quite abusive. But you know, I can laugh about it now, and we can joke about it to an extent now because I have done the healing, and I honestly think I just got to the end of that like real healing stage. But ooh, are we good with the mic?
Yeah, I was trying to just move it. So sorry. I
We're
didn't mean to
doing well
interrupt
today.
it.
We're doing
I didn't
well
mean
today.
to interrupt it like that. Fuck. I'm so sorry, baby.
Uh-uh.
No, I was trying to make sure that we were just picking you up as well as possible because at this angle, it's
No, you're right.
hopefully going to be better.
Should
Watch
we
it
cut
not be
it, or
any
should we-
different, and instead I'm just like fucking everything up in the middle of your story.
Okay.
I'm an asshole. I apologize.
No,
Continue.
you're not an asshole. I have so many stories about this character that I don't even know where to begin. I almost want to ask you where I should begin because you've been my.
Well, what's the main? I think the point for me of tonight is what's the main takeaway?
I know there's so many lessons I learned from this person. The main one though is that I had to learn my worth. I think that's where it all stemmed from.
After 10 years of stories about him, that's
Right?
what I would assume.
I'm trying to sum it up in a nutshell, but because I didn't truly know my worth in my bones, and granted, I was a feisty little baby.
I believe it.
I was feisty little baby, but I wasn't feisty enough to stand up to this motherfucking whatever he was. And I didn't speak my truth. And so, and granted, you got to kind of give yourself leeway. And that's where, this self-love, self-forgiveness comes into play. Because, man, I look back and I'm like, for a long time, I was like, well, why didn't you say something? And why didn't you do something? And why didn't you leave? And, we all go through that. It's not for that. This person came into my life to teach me a lot of things. And honestly, it was painful, and honestly, it was so necessary because I would not be here today doing what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing. And so, yeah, self-worth is what I came out of that realizing I needed to work on. I learned a little bit coming out of it, and then I started to, as you heal, you really, really learn the lessons in your bones. And because that was quite a traumatic relationship,
Yeah.
I'm finally 13 years later. 13 years
even more
later.
than that,
14,
probably.
yeah, fully. 14 years later, I guess. I don't know. It was messy. But it's I don't know. Through good love and you listening to me and you helping me navigate like these old weird memories that pop up in your head, partners that love you, friends that love you, family that loves you, I've been able to navigate like what it was. And I think it really was, the biggest lesson was really learning my self-worth. Had I known that, I would have been able to speak my piece, I think. I would have been able to stand up for myself.
Yeah. Well, I think what's so interesting about what you just said, and that's a lesson that's so hard to learn. Like, fuck me, man. It's that. I think that is the hardest lesson to learn, because I didn't learn it until I was with you, and you were telling me how much I was worth, and I was like,
right.
I was fighting against you about how much I was worth.
That's an interesting.
But I'm just saying, I think that finding your self-worth, and maybe we'll be able to kind of deep dive on that topic a million times, because oh my God, there's so much to that. But the thing that was so interesting was you were in that relationship and you fought. So I think we hide our lack of self-worth somewhere behind this visceral kind of vicious attack dog that we put out in front. That's not necessarily the thing that just goes very calmly, I'm not here for this, dude. Like, like, deuces, I'm out. Like, don't call, don't try to write, don't do that. It's fine. Go do your thing. The truth is, our self-worth would be so much more protected if we didn't. You don't have to necessarily, and obviously every story is different, and we're qualifying that because it kind of in today's society needs that qualification. But the truth is, the qualification or the self-worth is not tied to how much you fight for yourself. It is tied to what you will and will not accept.
Yes.
And that's it. And
simple.
That is it. It's a cleaner, calmer thing. Because now the best part about us when we argue now is that if you bring up something to me, I know it means a lot to you. Yeah. You don't bring up petty shit. I try not to bring up petty shit. I don't always succeed. But you don't bring up petty shit because it's... Excuse me.
It's been a long day.
Because it just isn't worth bringing into it.
No.
You will find a way, or if you do, it's a very it's not petty.
We're not petty people. We never do that. We never do that.
No,
actually, ever.
Not anymore. I mean, I definitely did early on. That was kind of my game. Was I'll play the petty things so I don't have to deal with the big things, which is unfortunate, but it is.
That's funny. True. I barely remember that.
Yeah, I barely remember it until I really think about it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I dealt with so many situations in such petty ways because I didn't want to deal with the overarching emotions that were tied to things. Yeah, the underlying issues. Yeah. But yeah,
I love that you said that. That actually brings a lot of clarity to me right now. No, right now.
Nailed it.
The self-worth, it's so emotional, right? When we think of self-worth, it's like that lion, and it's not really a lion, it's just the stone. It's just like the sword and the stone. It's just a stone, and it is what it is, and it's just, here it is. This is my self-worth, and if it is, it is, or it isn't, it isn't. Like, it's black and white, And I would have just, in my head, I'm like, I should have run and screamed and blah, 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 and really, I should have just calmly walked away and been like, bye.
Okay, can I you just opened up a fucking great metaphor here. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Let me see if this plays out. We're in a podcast form, so I could just embarrass myself here.
Okay.
The sword and the stone is a great metaphor for what you should be for yourself. You are both the sword and the stone. Yeah. Everybody can come up. You are still dangerous. You are still that thing used the right way. You're a sharp sword. If somebody grabs anything but the hilt of your sword, they're going to get cut. You can still be that feisty fighting person, but the right person can come along and they don't have to fight against you. They grab and it just and you're there. Maybe you will come out of your stone for the right person. Ah! But wielded the right way, you are so much more useful. You are so much more useful if you are in the hands of the right person.
I'm really sorry. I have to. I'm sorry.
Come on now.
Get out of here.
I feel pretty good about that one.
Get out of here. After work talks. I mean,
I'm pretty happy with that. Like that's
Okay.
I would like to.
We have to play with this sword in the stone. That's it. I think.
Upcoming video.
Okay.
Sword in the Stone. Upcoming Thursday video. Keep your eyes peeled. Once again, subscribe below. We don't want you to miss out. I think it's over here. Subscribe below. We don't want you to miss out on the Sword in the Stone video.
Nah.
We just discovered that with you.
Together.
Here.
We did it together.
Come on now. Okay, so.
Okay. Do we want to move on to another one?
Yeah,
Or
I
do
say-
we want
I
to
mean-
chop this into a couple videos? What are we thinking?
I'm gonna have days off next week. So like, I say we continue down this road because I'm enjoying this so much
Okay.
that I don't want to stop.
Okay.
And also, I want to do another one next week. I want to keep going on this. Is that okay?
Okay, I love this. Yes,
All right.
You go.
So,
you tell me something.
Thank you, ladies first. I'm so sorry. You just stopped
I
yourself from
stopped you.
smacking me. You're like.
I'm like, well, if you want, great. I don't know.
So that second relationship that we
Mm-hmm.
know about, I guess what I was saying when I started talking about this is, and I know that it kind of seemed a little, it's intimidating to think about it as, well, I don't want to boil a person in an entire however many years down to one thought.
One lesson. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's not, and I don't mean to make it that. So, for the purposes and in the context of this video, that's to an extent what I'm doing, but it's not that. What I'm trying to say is that when I think of that relationship, what I think of so much is this. Like, and I know just based on the stories that you've told me for over a decade, the thing that you think about the most in so many various forms is that you lost your self-worth to this person.
Right.
And that caused issue A through fucking Z.
I mean,
And
it
then-
affects everything. But you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please, fucking interrupt.
In
I ain't going nowhere.
regards to all of the, I guess, issues it caused, it also caused clarity and resolution.
Yep.
Or not caused, but it
Created.
created clarity and resolution
Yeah.
in my heart, in the person I am. And so I am stronger in my bones actually because of that crap that I went through.
Of course.
And, you know, everyone wants to protect you from all of this stuff that's going on, and rightfully so. People in your life love you, your friends, your family, but no one's going to listen to you other than you, you know, like, so when you're ready, you will learn these lessons, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And when you learn them, take heed, pay attention, keep your eyes open, listen to where you're being guided, and like learn these lessons, because it took me a long time, and now I'm so fucking grateful that I did.
Yeah.
Because I am a better wife for you because of the shit that I went through.
Absolutely.
I am a better mommy to these girls. I've never been a mommy before, but I am
Yeah,
a better
to
mommy
these
to our
babies.
dogs because I am more in myself and in my skin and comfortable with who I am. You know, like our life is, mine is very happy. I don't know.
No, it makes me
I'm
happy when
grateful
she does
for
this.
the pain in a way.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course. Hold on. Maya, stop. I agree. I couldn't agree more, and there's something really special about what we're talking about here, and I think now, like, you're right, we should split this into two parts.
Yeah.
Because those were both of our first real loves.
Our first real loves, like an adult
And
life.
what we learned from those first real loves was so important and so special. But what we learned from the next real loves was drastically different. And,
it really was.
And so, you know what? I'm just going to cut it right there. You want to subscribe? Come right here in the center. You want to watch videos? They're over our faces or down on our chests. Or maybe it's over my face and down over her chest. I don't know. Click on one of those. But one of them's going to be the next video in this series. That's the one over my face. So go on and click on that. It's about to get spicy.
Oh,
It's about to get... That's a spicy meatball.